It had been a strange night out, starting as an online date with a guy that had never turned up. Then, just as Sarah was about to cut her losses and leave, she'd bumped into someone she thought she'd never see again. The bad blood she thought existed between them was nowhere in existence, and they'd had a great night, ironing out their differences in the late-night bar, with promises made which she intended to ensure he kept. When they'd said their goodbyes, Sarah left the bar, staggering past security and out onto an empty street. She'd had far too much to drink, and although she felt disappointed the night had come to an end, she knew it was just as well before she made a fool of herself by either falling over or throwing up in the middle of the dance floor. She found herself now in a small enclave in the trendy Lace Market area of Nottingham. She looked around her in awe at the tall red brick buildings with their Victorian Gothic facades. Tonight, the buildings seemed dark and dangerous, bearing down on her in the gloom and giving a claustrophobic feel. She hurried down Stony Street towards the familiar bell tower of St. Mary's Church on high pavement, the clip of her high heels echoing all around her. A scuffling noise to her right momentarily startled her, and she stopped walking, before thinking better of it and hurrying again along towards the shortcut she intended taking. It was dark and late, and she was just being jumpy, she reasoned.
Complete book free listening link in bio.
The adrenaline spike
and
of fear sobered her up in a flash, so that when she neared the alleyway she needed to walk through, and something or someone cried out, giving a high-pitched mewing noise, she was instantly attentive. Sarah stopped again and listened. There it was again, louder this time. If she didn't use this shortcut, she'd be forced to walk around the outskirts of the district, and her heels were already pinching her toes. It would add another 15 minutes onto her journey home, and she'd struggle to get a cab from that area. She stood, shuffling her sore feet and trying to decide. She silently scolded herself. It was probably just a cat. As it was, she'd already be later home than she'd promised, and she knew her mum, who was staying over at the flat to babysit Millie, wouldn't be able to rest until she heard Sarah's key in the door. Then there was tomorrow's early start to consider. She had some lucrative prepaid appointments from regular clients that she didn't want to lose, and that meant setting her alarm for 6 a.m. She tiptoed towards the mouth of the narrow alleyway and peered inside. She heard a scuffling noise a bit further along. There was no light down there at all, and the nearest street lamp was too far away to help her see. Then she remembered the torch on her phone. If it was an animal, it would probably scoot away at the sudden light. And if not, if it was some druggie shooting up down there, well, she'd take the long way around after all. She took a few steps inside and pressed the flashlight icon. The second the alleyway illuminated, a face appeared in front of hers. Before she could cry out or step back, a powerful hand covered her mouth roughly. In a flash, she felt some kind of bag being pulled over her head and tightened around her neck. She opened her mouth to scream, but was knocked sideways, heavy blows raining down on her head. She slumped against the wall and slid slowly down it.